Okay, chapter 4, text 9. It's a very, very important verse that has been repeated a lot of times by Srila Prabhupada. It says, Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tattvataha tyakta deham punarjanma naiti ma meti. So Arjuna, one who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. So let's look back in the previous verses what Krishna is referring to. Krishna is talking about why he comes, right? So first I spoke this Bhagavad Gita to the sun god 2 million years ago. You don't remember, Arjuna, I do. And then Arjuna says, okay, but you're younger than the sun god. How come you were there? And how come I don't remember? Krishna says, well, your body changes. My body doesn't. I have always been, I have always will be. I am Satchidananda Vigraha. But in your case, your body is made up of earth, water, fire, and ether. So it keeps changing. And then Krishna says that whenever there's a decline, paritrana sadhunam vinashacha duskritam, whenever there's decline of religiosity, that's when I come, yuga after yuga, to uplift those who are my devotees and to destroy the miscreants who are trying to destroy religiosity or dharmic principles. Right? So, like that, Krishna explains that why he comes, who he is, how he always, this message of Bhagavad Gita has always been there and is repeating it to Arjuna because yoga nashta parantapaha. That means the chain of disciplic succession, Guru Shishya Parampara, has been broken. As a result, Krishna is repeating this message again 5,500 years ago in the battlefield of Kurukshetra to Arjuna, right? So like that, Krishna, whenever there is a chain breaking or there is a decline in religiosity, Krishna comes, and it is predicted in the Vedas. Every advent of Krishna, that means Rama, Narasimha, Varaha, Kalki, Buddha, all these advents, these avatars of Vishnu, avatars of Krishna that come, each one of them are timed, are specified with where the Lord will come, when he will come, what will be his activities, how many years he will be on this planet, what he would do, when he would do, all the details, so that no fake person can say they are God, right? And yet we find so many godmen who call themselves God and create a lot of chaos and create confusion. And basically they're the reasons why a lot of the young people are atheistic, because who do you believe? What does the movies portray? The movies portray these godmen who have basically taken religion, made it into a business, and call themselves God, even though they are absolute liars and frauds. So, but for the sincere soul, when people who want to know who is God, for them, they refer to the religious scriptures, because just like a true lawyer or a true doctor would go to a medical college or get a law degree to practice law, similarly, a true devotee will look at the law book and see what it refers to and what is really the authenticity. Just a second, there is a lot of commotion. And a guest in the house. So, anyway, um, so so sincere devotee would always look into the scriptures to find out how to identify who God is, and then based on that, put their faith in the right place. So Krishna, after explaining all of that, that is my role. One of the roles is paritrana sadhunam. I come yuge yuge, and all of that. And my body doesn't change. I spoke this to sun god. Then Krishna says, one who understands this, one who understands janma karma me divyam, my birth, janma, my karma, my activities, rather than birth, I would say appearance. My appearance and my activities, divyam. So ours is not divyam. We are born because our parents' union, and we are here. right? Due to an insemination process. But in case of Krishna, there is no such thing. It's by his own will that he comes. And Divyam, it's a divine situation when Krishna comes. We'll look at any of them. Narsingadev, who are his parents, he came out of a pillar, right? He appeared. In terms of Lord Ramachandra, there was a lot of yagya that was done. And finally, Dashrath Maharaj had Lord Ramachandra through a divine arrangement. If you look at Matsya, if you look at Kurma, if you look at any of these, avatars of the Lord, and especially in Krishna avatar, right? It's a Divyam situation. Shankha Chakra Gada Padma. He appears in four-armed Narayana form in the prison cell of Kamsa, and that's where he instructs his father Vasudev, like, this is what you will do. I'll be in a baby form. Take me to the other side of Yamuna, place me there, etc. So he tells them exactly what to do. Then he becomes a baby. Now do what you're supposed to do. So he is not a baby who's useless. Oh, tell me what to do. Oh, clean my poop. Oh, change my diaper. It's not like that kind of a baby. He's a very he's completely aware. He is Krishna in a baby form. He is Krishna in a boyhood form, 7-year-old lifting Govardhan Hill. He is Krishna in a 12-year-old form where he is in his fresh youth. He is Krishna in a 16-year-old form, and also in the 125-year-old form in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. He's still the same Krishna. So Krishna doesn't just, in our case, our awareness evolves as we grow. In Krishna's case, that was not the case. That's why at a very young age, the gopis were attracted to Krishna, even though he was just a little boy. But he is God. So regardless of his size, regardless of his physical feature, he is attractive always, right? So there was, everybody found him, the cows, the calves, the gopis, the gopas, the parents, everybody found Krishna super attractive because he's God. That's one of the things. Like when he's, just to give you a little, I'm going to digress for a little bit. When Lord was holding the Govardhan Hill, right? Left hand, pinky. All the Vrajavasis were there. The cows, the calves, the gopas, the gopis, the parents, the older people, the deers, the peacocks, everybody's there. And that is one pastime where Krishna really enjoys reciprocating with each and every devotee, with each and every rasa, because the rasa, the flavor of relationship he has with the girlfriends is obviously different from the flavor he has with his parents, right? This madhurya rasa, which is the conjugal love. Then there is love of with the parents, so it is the vatsalya rasa. Then there is the friendly love that he has with the Gopas and Balaram and all that. Then he has with his servants, he has with the cows and the trees and the peacocks and all of that. So everyone is relishing Krishna's presence there. While it's raining, torrential downfall of rain from Indra, and the Sudarshan Chakras going around Govardhan Hill, trying to dry the water so it doesn't come in. And Krishna is for 7 days and 7 nights enjoying, relishing his association with all his devotees. So the point is, Krishna really likes to be with his devotees. Now, this is the real secret of Krishna. Now, people do PhDs on Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita and Rasa Leela and all of that. In fact, there was a PhD in Rasa Leela who invited ISKCON devotee to come and give a guest lecture in Oxford, I think. One of those big universities. And of course, the ISKCON devotee talked about Krishna as a person, Krishna's likes, Krishna's dislikes, who is he, who is personality, etc. And after the class was over, this man pulled the devotee to the side and said, "Do you really believe Krishna existed?" And he said, "You have a PhD on Rasa Leela and you don't think Krishna existed?" So, that's the kind of situation when you are scholarly and you're looking at externals. Maya has a very strong way of keeping you at the externals so that you don't come to the core. But for a devotee, it's very easy to access the core. And the core is Krishna is Parithrana Sadhunam. He's Bhakta Vatsala. He is all about his devotees. And that is why he comes. Janma karma cha me divyam. That is divine appearance of the Lord and the activities of the Lord. Both are for attracting our hearts. And that heart aspect. So when he's stealing a butter, what do people do when somebody steals anything? They beat the shit out of him. The gopis used to wait. They would churn the butter and hope to God that Krishna would come to their house and steal the butter, right? And if Krishna came, they would be like happy, and still they would complain, "Oh, Mother Yashoda, your son is so naughty. He comes and steals our butters." But they'd be very happy internally that Krishna is coming to steal our butter. Because for those gopis, their biggest treasure is the cows. And the cow's biggest output is the milk. And the milk's most refined output is the butter. So the butter and the ghee is their biggest treasure. And Krishna comes and steals that treasure. And there's a huge significance to that. That means that we offer our best of the best to the Lord, right? That's what Krishna is after. He's after our heart. He doesn't care about our money. People think, "Oh, I'll make a lot of money and donate it to God." You think the richest creator, the most owner of everything, cares about your money? No, he cares about your heart. He wants to attract your consciousness. When you on your own voluntarily turn towards Krishna, it's like, "Krishna, I love you. I want to dedicate my life for you." That's what captures him, right? Nothing else can capture him. It is said there's nothing more powerful than Krishna Bhakti. Because through Krishna Bhakti, you can purchase Krishna. And then Krishna is left, he cannot do anything. He's completely yours. By Krishna Bhakti, you can purchase him. That's the only thing that's more powerful than Krishna. So he doesn't give Krishna Bhakti to anybody, right? Unless the person is really, really sincere. So you will see those of us who are in the path of getting Krishna Bhakti, we will go through tests. We will go through turbulence where we will be like, does Krishna really exist? Does this really work? And many of us who are here today, hope not, but many of us most likely will weigh off and will be like, not for me. Enough of that nonsense, right? And few will stay back. And Krishna says, Manushanam Shastreshu, of hundreds of thousands of men or women, Manushanam Shastreshu, Kaschit Apiti Siddha, very few even inquire about me. Of them, very few try to understand me. Of them, very few actually understand me. So it's very rare to stick with Krishna consciousness. So don't be surprised if a few years later you leave. It's only natural. If you stay, that is glorious, right? And that's rare. Point is why? Because Krishna Bhakti, he doesn't give to too many people. Because then you have full power over God. And he becomes your property. Just like the gopis, they would say, "Krishna, dance." Krishna would dance. Say, "Krishna, wear a woman's clothes." Krishna would wear a woman's clothes. Whatever they said, Krishna would have to do because they love Krishna so much. Out of love, when somebody asks anything, how can you say no to them? Krishna's situation was exactly that. Like the most powerful person, there's a very beautiful graphic. There's really, biceps and arms, and this guy's huge. And he's wearing a little skirt in front of his 2-year-old daughter. Daughter says, "Daddy, you wear that skirt." And daddy's wearing a skirt. He's the most macho man you can imagine. It's like what nobody could make him do, his daughter could make him do, because daughter's love is so pure. So same thing, what nobody can make Krishna do. Mother Yashoda could tie Krishna to the grinding mortar, punishing him, right? Oh, you're going to learn to be, a behaved boy. You're not going to steal butter. I'm going to teach you a lesson. And Balaram comes. "Who is this who has tied you? I'm going to burn down the entire universe." And he says, "Mother Yashoda tied me." "Oh, Mother Yashoda, I cannot do anything to her." Right? Pure love. What is her power? Nothing. Her power is her love over Krishna. So that is the secret. Janma karma medevyam. So Krishna's activities, if you see, all these attractive leela and pastimes that the Lord has, all these pastimes are to attract our heart, right? From stealing the butters to killing all these demons, to the Bhagavad Gita at the battlefield of Kurukshetra, to his pastimes with the wives, marrying 16,108 wives. Wow. One wife is difficult enough. Those of you are married probably know this more than I do. I'm not married, right? 16,108 wives. Maintaining them, each one of them. One time Narad Muni was flying by Dwarka, and he noticed, and he's like, "Whoa, Krishna is here, Krishna is there, Krishna is there." Every wife has a palace. Every wife has a set of, servants. set of chariots, jewelry, you name it. And Krishna is personally present in each palace with each wife. Not like one wife is wondering, 16,000 years later, I'm going to see Krishna. No, no, no. Krishna is present with each one of the 16,108 wives simultaneously. Right? Nobody feels left out. Even in the Rasa Leela, when Krishna is dancing with these gopis, there are lakhs of gopis. And every single gopi feels Krishna is with me because Krishna has expanded himself to every single one of them. That is Krishna. He can actually maintain them. So all of these pastimes, if you look at it, Krishna is trying, not trying, Krishna is doing these pastimes to actually capture our heart. Are we recording it? I'm hoping we are getting recorded. Yes, we are.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. So every single pastime is to capture our heart. And if he understands this, we'll understand how eager Krishna is to bring us back to his own dham. So that's why he says, one who understands this, punarjanmana vidyate, never take birth again. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving this body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. Right? So this is Krishna's promise. If you understand Krishna's appearance on this planet and his activities, his Leela, then you will not take birth again, because what will happen is love for Krishna will emanate from your heart like wow, right? Only 2% of the people, of the souls, are in this material world. Imagine this, right? How many chief ministers or prime ministers do you know who go to the jail to look at the prisoners? I have not heard too many times that the prime minister is visiting or the chief minister is visiting the jail. That's the situation. Any city, there is a jail for the criminals, those who don't follow the rules. This place is a jail. Durga, Durgamana. Durga Devi is a jail keeper. She's a jail keeper. This is the jail, Devi Dham. And we are here. And Krishna keeps coming back, coming back, coming back, doing Leela. So, and making sure those Leelas are nicely marketed to us so that we keep hearing the Leela. Our hearts get attracted and we're like, what am I doing here? Everything I'm missing is there with Krishna. Oh my God, I want to be with him. And we take our steps and hopefully go back to Goloka Vrindavan. That's what Krishna does. He keeps coming back. That's how much he loves us. So we may understand the reason behind Janma and Karma and the fact that he's protecting us when we are devotees, when we aspire to be his devotee. He's constantly there for us, protecting us, preserving us. Yoga Kshemam Vahamyam. I'm carrying what you lack. I'm preserving what you have, right? That's when we know, wow, how much love he has for us who don't want to be with him. We voluntarily left him to be here, and here he cannot live without us. So he's coming back personally. He's sending his devotees, he's sending his books, he's sending the knowledge, and he's constantly tapping us on the shoulder. Hey, come back, come back, come back. Right? That's how much he loves us. So Krishna says that we take one step, he takes thousands of steps. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam sitaiva bhajamyaham. To the degree you surrender unto me, to that degree I reciprocate. So our surrender is this much. We are this much big. Krishna is infinite. So his one step is very, very huge, right? We take one step, he takes one step, but his steps are much bigger. So he's taking much more responsibility just for one bit of our eagerness. And that is what is Krishna's mentioning here. Janma karma me divyam yo janati tattvataha. Tyakta deham punarjanmana midyate. So once you leave this body, you never have to worry about coming back as soon as you understand my divyam Leela. Now, what happens? People don't understand the Divyam Leela. So, what do they think? Oh, Krishna, many girlfriends, many wives, many this, many that. Right? I'm sorry. Give me one second. So, I know, right? Uh, so, where was I?
Krishna's Leela.
Leela. Yes.
So Krishna's no, Krishna, don't give me two words. Give me a little bit more context, so I know you're also listening. You never know. I'm testing you probably. Mom, when you go, close the door, please. Come on, somebody remind me. Where was I? So I know you're paying attention.
Krishna takes his births again and again. Krishna takes his births again and again.
Like when we take one step, also takes yeah.
That's right. Very nice. Yeah. Thank you very much. Okay. Um, so So what does that mean? Krishna is very eager to see us back. So once we understand that, we understand his love. And so when we develop our love for Krishna, then naturally things of this material world we feel detached to, and we feel more attached to Krishna and detached from Maya. And slowly, slowly, you will see things you were. So, for example, I used to be very attached to cars, right? I used to be very attached to certain movie stars or singers and things like that, right? As I came to Krishna consciousness and noticed, I found kirtan more attractive than the movie songs I was more attracted to. And slowly things like prasadam started getting more attractive to me, the taste of it, than meat or eggs or other things I used to eat before becoming a devotee. So slowly, slowly, things were moving in the direction of devotional things gaining more attraction. That's Radashna, higher taste, right? Higher taste was coming in, and lower taste was being conquered by higher taste. And that's what happens. So when you develop a little bit of taste for Krishna, and Krishna reciprocates, and you feel his presence, that's when that taste comes, and taste takes you to higher levels of happiness that you've never experienced before. And when you experience that happiness, it's addiction. You want more of that happiness, and it's not like the addiction where you have a high and a low. People say, I am high, dude, right? And then there is a crashing low, right? I had a little food poisoning a couple of days back. Somebody said, oh, did you drink too much? I said, I don't drink. But somehow exhaustion and all that. But the point is, in drinking or in drugs, I have heard there is a high. People get a little high, but there is a crashing low. So when the Hare Krishna movement started in the 60s, there was a hippie movement, and there was a lot of people doing drugs, and they were getting high, and they thought that was spirituality. So a lot of our creative devotees marketed our Krishna consciousness movement as stay high forever. Come to Krishna consciousness, chant Hare Krishna, stay high forever, no crashing down. So all these hippies who like drugs, they would, come to our Krishna conscious talks and start chanting Hare Krishna and want to stay high forever, so they don't have to come down. And that is a truthful statement, because through that, Srila Prabhupada has helped so many people get out of drug addictions and alcohol addictions and smoking addictions and things like that. And even though I'm like a tiny little ant or a speck of dust compared to Srila Prabhupada, in the same formula, I have helped few people, not many, but few people get out of their addictions, right? Just by using the holy name, higher taste, you can overcome lower taste. And that's Krishna Bhagavad Gita chapter 2. Krishna's words, they can never be false, right? That's what Krishna says. And if anybody has any addictions, try that, and you will see. Just replace that addiction that you have slowly, gently, right, with something higher, and you will notice slowly, slowly you will develop that taste for it as you're chanting Hare Krishna, and you'll be able to overcome that lower taste with a higher taste. All right. So I hope this verse is clear, and this verse is very beautiful. If you want to memorize certain verses of Gita, this is definitely one verse you want to memorize. It's very, very relatable. It's inspiring also, especially for those people. When people attack you, oh, Krishna, he had thousands of wives, and he was a womanizer, and he danced with other people's wives and whatnot, right? That's, so that doesn't affect your brain. Read this, because when you understand the divyam aspect of things, right, then you realize what they're missing out and what you have access to. From outside, it looks like something, but internally, the devotees have access to seeing what Radha Krishna Leela, or what the Leela of the Gopis and Krishna, and the Leela of Krishna with the wives of Krishna, and all of that looks like. The history behind it, the context behind it, right? The 16,108 words, I mentioned it last week also. They were, in Lord Ramachandra's pastime during Ramayana, these were the sages in Dandakaranya forest who, even though they were in men bodies, the Lord was so attractive, regardless of, gender. They wanted to get married to Lord Ram. And he said, sorry, in this birth, I've taken a vow. I've only married to my one wife, Sita. But next time when I come, I'll fulfill your desire. And that desire wasn't fulfilled by the 16,108 wives that Krishna accepted as a promise he made at Lord Ram, right? These gopis, each gopi has a story. They have worked so hard to come to that position of gopi, right? It's a very beautiful poetry. The gopis feeling jealous of the flute of Krishna. That how can it be that you're always on Krishna's lips? That is such a coveted position. What have you done in your past life to be in that position, to be on Krishna's lips? And we always want to be with Krishna, and we are so separated, right? We have our husbands, and we have a social pressure and all of that, right? So now, of course, for a materialist, they don't even care to read. They don't even care to know about Krishna. They just want to see, how can he be God? Lord Ram, Maryada Purushottam, sure. But Krishna, he was just a womanizer. Nrsimhadev, sure, half man, half lion, big nails, scary. He can be God. But Krishna, he's just like us. Krishna does it, no problem. When we do it, we get beaten up. What nonsense is this? Oh, really? Lift Govardhan Hill like Krishna, right? Do whatever Krishna did. Show the Vishnu Darshan like Krishna did. Entire universe. He showed to Mother Yashoda just his mouth. Mother Yashoda saw and she fainted. Like the entire creation was in Krishna's mouth, right? So, if one who understands Krishna's divinity will be of a whole different character versus one who doesn't understand it. And very unfortunate those people are. Okay. Any questions so far? Ragni Mataji is asking, why does Lord Krishna wear peacock feather? Does it show how pure he is, Prabhuji? Please explain it. Hare Krishna. It's a choice. He's God. He can do anything. He could have taken pigeon feathers if he wanted. He chose peacock feathers. He chose cows to be his favorite animals. He doesn't need a reason to do anything. That's the beauty of Krishna. Krishna, in his Leela, he's very clear that I am God. And I create the laws. I also break the laws, right? And that's why I'm God. You guys are under the laws. I am not. So in Krishna's case, whatever he does, of course, there can be a lot of back history. But the simple answer is because he so desires. That's it. Okay, any other questions?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Solan.
Yeah, I too have a question.
I thought you wouldn't come today.
No, I didn't. No, I hadn't told anything on the group. I was going to be there.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So this is regarding the last class, which I had missed. So I had gone through the recording, and since you spoke about the avatars of Krishna, so you were also mentioning something similar that day, which I sort of did not understand. So it's like a bit technical related to the Vedas. So you said that Krishna is equal to Mahavishnu.
No.
But then there is Krishna, who's the avatar. So I'm confused about that.
No. I didn't say equal to Mahavishnu. So there's simultaneous equality and simultaneous difference. Achintya, Bheda, Abheda, Tattva. Achintya, that's the important word. It's inconceivable. So even if you try to understand it, you won't understand it. So inconceivable, simultaneous, oneness, and difference. So think about it this way. On Diwali day, you took one candle and you lit many candles, right? When you put the original candle, all the candles have the same luminosity, the same brightness, they look the same. But still there was an original candle, correct? That original candle is Krishna. He is a source of all sources. By definition, he is a cause of all causes. And there are partial expansions of him that are these avatars, the Leela avatars, and there are different categories of avatars, different avatars. So first expansion is Srimati Radharani, another expansion is Balaram. From Balaram comes all the Vishnu Tattva avatars. From Radharani comes all the Shakti avatars, right? So that means the Durga Devi is a reflection of Srimati Radharani, Saraswati, and all of that. So and from Balaram comes, the Narayan form, the Vishnu form, the Mahavishnu form, the Karunadaksha Vishnu form. There's expansion of expansion. It's an intricate science. I can confuse the hell out of you if you want me to, but I'd rather not. But the point is, Krishna is not an avatar. That is a very basic Hindu misconception. Shrimad Bhagavatam, as well as Brahma Samhita, as well as many scriptures, point to this error very carefully, that Ekayamsa Kalopumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Bhagavan Swayam means he is God himself. Everybody else is an avatar. That means avatari. They come down from the spiritual world to this world through Vishnu. So that's why Vishnu has a important role to play. So they come through the agency of Vishnu, so they're avatari. Krishna doesn't have to take anybody's agency. He comes on his own will and he goes back, and there's a time frame when he comes. I think 72nd Manvantar period, Krishna comes. Right? So for us, that was 5,500 years ago. But Krishna is the original personality of Godhead from whom all creation has come. He's not an avatar.
Okay, Prabhu. Understood. Thank you.
Sure.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anything else?
Okay, can you just repeat that achintya? That
Achintya, Bheda, Abheda, Tattva.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. So we'll go to the next verse. Somebody wants to read? Text 35. Oh, sorry. Where am I?
So may I? Text 10. Prabhuji.
Yeah. Text 10. Go ahead.
May I read it?
Please.
Text 4.10. Vita raga bhaya krodha mana maya mam upasrita bhavo jnana tapasya uta mad bhavam agata. Translation: being freed from attachment, fear, and anger, being fully absorbed in me, and taking refuge in me, many persons in the past became purified by knowledge of me, and thus they all attained transcendental love for me. Should I read the purport too?
No, that's good. So very important qualities to remember. Being freed from attachment, fear, anger, being fully absorbed in me. So to be absorbed in Krishna, you have to be free from anger, fear, attachment. Now, if you remember chapter 2, middle of chapter 2, we learned the 8-step fall down process. How does anger come? While contemplating on the object of senses, we get attached. From attachment, lust develops. When lust is unfulfilled, frustration comes. From frustration, anger comes. From anger, bewilderment of memory. From bewilderment of memory, intelligence is lost, and the conditioned soul falls down again into the material whirlpool, that means Maya. So like that, Krishna defined very beautifully how that. So same thing if you see here, again, that is being brought here. Attachment, fear, anger, the same words, right? So when you have these, when you have attachment to material things, you are detached from Krishna. When you attach to Krishna, you can be detached from matter. Now that doesn't mean you don't love anyone. Sometimes we make a mistake by thinking, oh, I only love Krishna and I don't love my children, I don't love my spouse, I don't love my family. No, not like that. In fact, you can love people when you're detached from them, because attachment means I want you to do something in a certain way. You have to be my way. You have to be my vision of what I want you to be. So if you're my husband or wife or child or sister or brother or whatever, I want you to act in a certain way. That is attachment. Detachment is you can do whatever you like. I love you regardless. I love you not conditionally, but unconditionally. My love is not dependent on how you react to me. Even if you don't look at my face, even if you don't talk to me, I love you. Even if you love me and hug me and still I love you. It's not dependent on, you know, your reaction or your behavior. It is my, because I'm attached to Krishna, that's why I love you. That means you can love everyone as your own. You can see others as part of God. Hindu, Muslim, black, white, Christian, Jain, Chinese, Indian, doesn't make a difference. That's how this Hare Krishna movement has spread, right? Because devotees, when they're spreading this movement, they don't see that bodily distinction. And others can perceive that love, that this love is not conditional love. It's not the same way that other religious people convert people, right? There's no conversion in our system. If you look at the Vedic system, there's no conversion. We just say chant Hare Krishna. There are nuns in Italy who are practicing Christian nuns who chant Hare Krishna because this is a method by which they feel closer to God. And that same God is Krishna that they call, Jehovah or the Holy Spirit or Christ, or Christ is a misnomer because Christ is the Son of God, right? But regardless, whoever you call God, Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is a method to reach there. And some people say Allahu Akbar, some people say something else. There are different ways of naming God, but chanting the name of God is important, right? So the important part over here is when you attach to matter, to that degree, you're not attached to Krishna. When you're attached to Krishna, to that degree, you're not attached to matter. And when you're not attached to matter, you can actually use matter for a higher purpose. That means if you're a politician, if you're not attached to your seat, you can actually do good things for people without worrying about, will this be a popular thing versus will this be a right thing, right? Popular thing as in, if I do this, will I get elected? Regardless of right or wrong. Versus there's a right thing to do, regardless if I get elected or not. That's why I'm the leader. I've been chosen by the people to do the right thing, right? Lord Ramachandra, till date, gets blasphemed for sending Sita Devi away. People don't even care to find out what happened. How hard was it for him to let go that woman for whom he spent so much effort, time, tears to get her back from Ravan, right? But right thing versus popular choice. He could have been the popular king. He was Maryada Purushottam, everything right for him. People find that one little dark spot. Oh, he let his wife go through the fire. He let his wife go to the forest being pregnant and whatnot. Another day, if you have the question about it, another day, not today. But the point is, right, that's what, right choice versus popular choice. So attachment versus detachment. Attachment means I do it to show off. I do it because I'm attached to your glorification. I'm attached to your likes and shares. I'm attached to you thinking I'm a great person. Detachment means doesn't matter. I'm going to do the right thing because I'm attached to Krishna. I want him to think of me as a good devotee. And so whatever that means, the right thing to do, I will do that. Nobody's watching. I'll still do dharmic path because I want to please Krishna. And he will be pleased if I do the right thing. Right? So being freed from attachment, fear, anger, being fully absorbed in me and taking refuge in me. So once you're able to fully absorb in Krishna, then you can take shelter of Krishna, again, to whatever degree. Not all of us can fully do that. I cannot. I'm sure some of you might be able to, but I'm not there yet. But to whatever degree we can, to that degree we can take refuge in Krishna. It means we have sheltered with Krishna's hand over our head. It's okay. Corona time, business is having difficulties, whatever it is, I am there for you. Don't worry. I'm there for you, right? That means taking refuge. Krishna is there giving us shelter. So take refuge of me, in me. Many persons in the past became purified by this knowledge. Even by the knowledge of that, you get purified. What to speak of taking refuge in Krishna? When Indra was trying to destroy Vrindavan, he sent these thunder clouds that are used to destroy the universe. All the cows, calves, all the gopis, gopas, everybody, Krishna, Krishna, please help, please help. They didn't try to say, Indra, please stop this. They said, Krishna, Krishna, please help. The exclusive shelter was Krishna. Krishna lifted the Govardhan hill, said, come under, follow me. This is where we will go. They stood there. 7 days later, Indra was at Krishna's feet. I'm so sorry, didn't realize who you were. Please forgive me, right? So even the knowledge of taking refuge of Krishna is purifying, but to speak of taking refuge of Krishna, right? And thus, they all attain transcendental love for me. That is the goal. Krishna wants us to reignite our love for Krishna and thereby come back to him. The only price to pay to go back to Goloka Vrindavan is develop love for Krishna. Because if we don't have love for Krishna over there and we are envious of why is this gopi like that? Why is that gopi like this? The same envious mentality that we have here, if we go over there, will be a misfit. Gopis are like, who is this person? Where did this person come from? Why is this person so envious? right? Because envy is one quality that is not there in spiritual world, right? It's all love. It's all driven by love. So everything that's in the spiritual world is there in the reflection in this material world. But envy is one thing that is only in this material world, that is not in the spiritual world. So I'll end with this. Today I have a lot of guests in my house. I'm so sorry. I have to leave a little early. But if you have questions, do write them in the WhatsApp group. If you're not in the WhatsApp group, join the WhatsApp group. Just message Sarvanu and he will help you join the WhatsApp group and ask the questions there. When I'm done with all this family stuff, I will respond to your questions in the WhatsApp group. Or else next week I can respond in person. Thank you very much and have a wonderful night. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Hare Krishna, everyone. Okay, sorry. Vibhuti Mataji has a question. We feel that someone has done wrong to us. We should let God punish that person. Karma. Or we have to take. Okay, if somebody is abusing you, right, you have to take preventative measures. If you have to call the police, you have to, distance yourself from the person. Whatever you have to do that. If it is in a way that it's not immediately harmful, and you can live by distancing yourself, do that. But if you take action, do take action. It really depends on the specifics of it. I cannot give you a generalistic answer. Of course, karma will play its way, but it's not true that karma will not play through you. It can be karma will play through you. You could probably sue the person and get the person behind bars. So don't be passive. Don't be aggressive. Take guidance and do the right thing. But if it is imminent threat to your life, imminent threat to your dignity, imminent threat to anybody dear to you, then take immediate action, call up the police or take whatever you have to do to make that happen. As an entrepreneur, politicians have gundas, entrepreneurs have lawyers. I always tell entrepreneurs, have good lawyers, send a legal notice, somebody's not paying you. I don't leave it on karma. I am strong. If you're trying to take me for granted, I'm going to go after you. Strong, right? So devotees of Krishna are not like, oh, karma will take care of things. Arjun had a bow and arrow and he was going all out, killing the Kauravas. So be like Arjuna, but not, be careful who you deal with. What every situation is different. So if you want Vibhuti Mataji, you can write to me privately, a little bit more details, and I can help you through it. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.